Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the TomCast. Today's Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I'm the Tominator, Tom Cherichello. Big Joe is with me today. Hey, Joe.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
All right. Okay.
Another Thursday.
Molly is not here again. She's on the way to see Nikki Glazer. For those fans of, I love Nikki Glazer. Joe, remember we went to see her?
The dirty comic.
She killed it in that Tom Brady celebrity roast.
Yeah.
So, Mollinator, have fun at Nikki Glazer. My drink today is Diet Dr. Pepper. I know this is bad for you, but once in a while you got to get what you got to get.
I don't think I've ever had a Dr. Pepper.
That's good. For those regular viewers to our program, notice we got the new microphones.
Yeah.
Due to our skyrocketing ratings, who knows what'll be next. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Joe, you believe in that?
No, because I've had good luck on Friday the 13th, and I've had bad luck. So it's just like another day.
Apparently, there are a lot of people that are like serious believers in that.
Yeah.
Like even famous people.
Yeah, I never, because I've had a couple times of Friday the 13th, and I actually had good days on Friday the 13th.
Oh, I've had, in my life, like a lot of great things happen to me on Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I think I had more good Friday the 13th than bad ones. So.
Well, for those that are superstitious, you want to be careful tomorrow.
Yeah.
We usually start off if there's any, deaths to report. 2 major rock and roll deaths this week. Sly Stone. You remember Sly and the Family Stone, Joe? When you were a kid?
No.
They had some hits in the 60s and 70s. Dance to the Music, Everyday People, and Thank You for Being Myself Again.
Yeah, I remember those 2 songs.
His real name, Sly Stone, was Sylvester Stewart. Died at the age of 82. They were famous for being like the first racially integrated mixed gender band. Like they had men and women, whites and blacks in the same band.
Wow.
At that time, like most groups were either like 4 white guys or 3 black girls or whatever, 5 black guys, whatever the case may be. But they were one of the first to be, men and women of different races.
Yeah.
So Sly Stone.
I'm guessing they were up north.
Sly and the Family Stone. But the big death, Brian Wilson, the leader of the Beach Boys, died. Both Sly Stone and Brian Wilson died at 82. They say it comes in threes, so we'll see if there's going to be a rock and roll death in the next couple of days. But Brian Wilson was like a musical genius. I think like any critic or even like a lot of famous musicians will agree that he was a musical genius. Started the Beach Boys in 1961. Our younger viewers probably never heard of the Beach Boys, but they were huge in the 60s and even into the 70s and 80s. They had hits into the 80s. Founded in 1961, Brian Wilson, his 2 brothers, Carl and Dennis Wilson, their cousin Mike Love, and a friend Al Jardine were the founding 5 Beach Boys. There were some lineup changes.
Al Jardine, I remember that.
Al Jardine, he sang lead on some of their songs. Help Me Rhonda was made one of my favorite Beach Boys songs. But Brian Wilson, it was unusual. Nowadays, I think mental health is more accepted. Like if you have mental health issues, your employers or your friends and family accept it. You get help, treatment.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like you were looked down upon. But Brian Wilson had like several nervous breakdowns, spent a lot of time in treatment. Famous, he had a therapist, Dr. Eugene Landy, who controlled his life, and the family had to, get him taken away from this Dr. Landy. It was a big thing, and I think he had 2 times where he treated with Dr. Landy for a tremendous amount of money. The family was paying this Dr. Landy, and he got involved even in the musical, production, and. Supposedly, Brian Wilson the family had bad things to say about Dr. Landy, but Brian Wilson, liked him even after, to the end.
Yeah.
the Beach Boys' father was their manager, Murray Wilson, and he was really, if you watch any of the movies about the Beach Boys, like really rough on his kids, like controlling, yelled at them, and he ran all their affairs. And their father sold. You see nowadays a lot of musicians sell their song catalog for like tremendous amounts of money. Like Bruce Springsteen, I think got $500 million. Bob Dylan, I think Neil Young. A lot of these musicians are selling their catalog,
right,
which, whoever buys it can, anytime those songs are used in movies or commercials, they get money.
Get the royalty.
They get the royalty. So if the Beach Boys song catalog were available today, it would be worth, a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah.
Their father sold it in 1969 for $700,000.
Oh, jeez.
And there was tons of lawsuits over it because the son said that
who actually wound up with it?
The father.
The father.
And the kids sued, saying that they were forced to do it, or the father forged signatures. The lawsuits went on for many years over this song catalog. And I think Brian Wilson won, and he didn't get the catalog back. I think they gave him like $10 million or something, which sounds like a lot, but if the Beach Boys song catalog were available today, it would probably sell for like over $500 million or more. So he had two daughters, Carney and Wendy. You might remember a kind of a girl group in the early 90s called Wilson Phillips.
Yeah,
They had that hit song, Hold On for One More Day. But his two daughters became famous in that group, which I think that group's still around. Like, they still play on occasion, Wilson Phillips. It was Brian Wilson's two daughters and China Phillips, who was the daughter of John Phillips and Michelle Phillips, both of the mamas and the papas. So she, obviously she had a tremendous musical pedigree. Beautiful woman, China Phillips. So Brian Wilson, most people hear his music all the time and you don't know you're hearing it.
Yeah.
But they just had so many hits. And the Beach Boys started out doing these surfer songs, Surfer Girl, Surfing Safari, Surfing USA. And then Brian Wilson they evolved. And the album that young kids, if they've never heard it, should download it or buy it, is called Pet Sounds, 1966. I think Paul McCartney's been quoted saying it was like, maybe one of the greatest albums of all time. But rest in peace, Brian Wilson, dead at the age of 82. All right, moving on to sports. NBA Finals. Last night was Game 3, Oklahoma City and Indiana Pacers, Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know if you saw that game last night, but Indiana won at home.
Yeah.
So they're up 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
And they were losing at the end of three quarters. Yeah,
at the half I saw they were up by 4. I think it was 66-62. But again, I was looking at the phone. I've been listening a lot of the golf, so I didn't really. I was just kind of watching the score to see if it was a blowout or what have you.
So Oklahoma City's up 2-1, and they have the next game at home. They say that the team that wins Game 3 wins 80%
of the titles. Wow.
In the NBA championship. So that was a critical Game 3.
Wow.
I think they need to. I still think that Oklahoma City's probably still the favorite. Obviously, if Indiana wins the next game, that'll be 3-1. That's going to be a tough hole for Oklahoma City to dig out. But the game kept my attention. It was an exciting game, and the crowd was really into it. The Indiana Pacers, I don't think they haven't been in the NBA Finals in like 25 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when the hell with Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller, yeah.
Did they ever win it?
No. Indiana's never won the NBA title. The Indiana Pacers originated in the ABA, the American Basketball Association. They merged.
Yeah.
They did win the title in the ABA.
Okay.
But Indiana has a tremendous basketball history. Obviously, the University of Indiana with Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
Indiana State, Larry Bird made it to the NCAA championship in 1979. And the Indiana Pacers, when they were in the ABA, they had some unbelievable players. George McGinnis was a tremendous player in the ABA. Mel Daniels, these guys are all retired or dead, was a tremendous player. I mean, they had some great players come through Indiana. And obviously in the NBA, Reggie Miller, they had some really unbelievable players. They just never were able to get it done.
Yeah.
So that's kept my attention. I'm excited to watch the remaining games. Hockey, Monday night, it's Florida and Edmonton for the Stanley Cup. The Florida Panthers won on Monday night. They're up 2-1, and the next game is tonight in Florida.
Yeah.
So they can go up 3-1.
Yeah.
Looking to make it back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Who would ever... Do you remember they never had hockey in Florida? When we were kids, no one's going to want to watch hockey.
I mean,
the two best teams in Florida.
Tampa's had a good team in
Florida.
Yeah.
They've won like five of the seven, something like that. Yeah,
7 Stanley Cups. Yeah.
But that game was really like vicious.
Yeah.
Like that.
I should have.
You ever hear the old joke? I went to a boxing match and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because hockey used to be violent when we were kids. And now they clean the sport up.
Oh, yeah, Derek Sanderson.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, Terry O'Reilly.
Yeah, Terry O'Reilly. That's what I was trying to think
Boston Bruins. But the Flyers with Bobby Clark,
Yeah.
Dave the Hammer Schultz. I mean, these guys, every team had enforcers back then.
Yeah.
They kind of cleaned it up. But I watched Monday night's game, and it was some really dirty plays. I mean, guys just bash
a lot of 5-minute penalties.
10-minute.
They got a 10-minute one?
I think they did. I'm not sure.
I didn't even know they had a 10-minute one.
So if Florida wins the next game, I mean, they're going to be, tonight, they're going to be a commanding position, up 3-1, looking for back-to-back Stanley Cups. Now, the big thing going on in sports, I think, this week is the U.S. Open golf tournament is being played at Oakmont Country Club, and that's outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And more U.S. Opens have been played. This is the 10th U.S. Open at Oakmont.
Yeah.
I don't think any course is even close.
And they believe it is the toughest course in the world. That's what everybody says. It's the toughest.
The course record is unbelievable. Remember Johnny Miller in 1973.
Oh, yeah.
63.
Yeah.
He came from something like 9 shots back to win.
Yeah.
They won by 1 shot.
That tall,
I remember watching that.
Tall, lanky build. And
he was making everything.
They said these greens are going to be close to 15 on a stint meter, and they've gotten a lot of rain. They didn't. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen any of it yet. Just kind of looking at the phone here and there, but curious to see. I'm curious to see what I'll be watching that this weekend.
Oh, I'm not going to miss that. So I'm assuming you like Scotty Scheffler, Joe.
Yeah. Although right now he's 2 over, so. But I think that'll turn around.
What's the leader at?
The lead is at 4. JJ Spawn -4, shot a 68 today. So that's
still not that far ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the first round records, 68. I think Miller have it the last day, 63. Yeah, I think
it's still a course record.
I think the 68 is the opening round tied for the course record is 68. So it's got to be not 68, 66. I'm sorry, par 70. Shot 4 under.
So any other names you like besides Scheffler?
Corey Connors maybe. Only because someone had mentioned him, and I did like Fleetwood, but he's already +4. I guess maybe I just want Fleetwood to win so bad. He hits it pretty straight. I just figured maybe he'd come out of nowhere, and that's really about it. I'm not really. I'm actually rooting for. It's kind of crazy. I'm rooting for Scheffler. I don't really care about any other golfers. I'm the type that could see Scheffler win every week. I'd be very happy.
Well, Rory McIlroy's been playing horribly since he won the Masters.
Yeah, I'm not a big Rory fan. I'm glad he accomplished his lifelong dream, but after that,
it'd be hard to see. You don't see guys that are playing really bad.
Yeah,
you might see guys that are playing so win, but if guys are playing bad, they usually don't turn around that dramatically in 1 week. Or 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's had something going on. I don't know. He did too much post celebrating, but his mind isn't really into this or something. I don't know.
Hopefully, we'd get good weather out there in Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
no rain. I hate to see the rain affect the tournament.
Yeah.
But it is a brutal course. You think there's any chance the winner will not break par?
I thought that at the onset, but a lot of these guys are minus. I'm gonna say it's gonna range somewhere between minus 2 will be the winning score. From -2 up to +4, it's gonna be in that range. I don't think it's gonna be any more than -2. Meaning no one in that field will shoot better than -2, even Scheffler. I just think they're going to shit the bed. I'm kind of hoping a lot of that happens. I'm hoping they struggle.
I mean, it's amazing, what these guys do on a lot of courses where they're shooting like 20 under par.
Yeah.
And they're barely breaking par here. I mean, this course must be like a guy like a regular player probably. Yeah. God only knows what they would shoot there.
They go into
150.
Yeah. You shoot an 85, you're basically a scratch golf anywhere else. If you can shoot an 85 there.
All right, so we look forward to watching that this weekend. The P. Diddy trial is still rolling on. It seems like now they're allowing. It's not unheard of, but they're allowing witnesses to testify under a pseudonym, like not giving their name. So the testimony today was an ex-girlfriend of P. Diddy's known only as Jane. They're not telling you who she is, and it's the same stories.
What is that really doing for the?
I guess the woman doesn't want anyone to know what they did with him.
Yeah.
They don't want the public to know. But I guess same stories. Like he ordered her to have oral sex. And I'm not defending P. Diddy. I think there's enough testimony evidence showing that he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
That he's crude, treats women with disrespect. I just don't know if this is to that level of, sex trafficking. I think it's sex trafficking. I've said it every week. That's when you go to some country and grab women and bring them back in it.
Yeah, I'm finding it hard to see how they're going to prove him guilty of that. I mean, it seems like they're just trying to prove that he was a real.
It's not like he was locking these women
SOB,
in a dungeon or something.
Yeah.
But that's going to go on for a while. I think I'll speak only for myself. I think some people are getting tired of hearing about it already.
Yeah.
Whatever they do to them, they do to them.
Yeah. They're not really. It's not made for the public. I guess you just got to kind of read little bits and captions about it to figure out what's going on, But.
So we'll see. I mean, he's facing life. If he's convicted of all counts. I mean, he could,
15 years to life.
So down here, we're coming to you from Sarasota, Florida. They have what's called the hurricane season in Florida. It's starts on June 1st. So obviously today's the 12th. And, we've been getting hammered with hurricanes here the last few years. I think it goes from, hurricane season goes June, July, August, September, October, November. So it's like 6 months. So we are in hurricane season.
Right.
I mean, it's unusual that you get a severe hurricane this early in the year.
Yeah.
It's a big problem here. We live in a beautiful place, and many people have homes, large homes on the water. Yeah. But insurance rates are going crazy because the insurance companies are getting hit with these, claims from hurricanes. Some people are choosing to self-insure. Like if you have a mortgage, you're required to carry homeowners insurance.
Right.
But if you don't, you can just book the bet, so to speak, and just gamble that your house won't get hit. And if it does, you're going to have to pay for it out of pocket for the repairs or sell your house like that. Oh. But we want to be prepared. I mean, there's things people can do to protect their home, hurricane doors and windows. Make sure you have, if a storm is coming, plywood to board up your windows. Things, make sure that, any outside furniture is brought in. Make sure that, if you need help, you call TominatorLaw.com. I do
take precautionary measures and then call the attorney.
I'm in other states. I practice in several states in my law practice, and like in these other states, like they don't have these problems. Like the insurance comes out, they look at the damage, and they pay the
Tom,
claim.
I'll get you a new house.
But here in Florida, like the insurers are they fight. There's a lot of litigation over it, and the insurance companies cry that's how come we're not making money. But the homeowners cry, well, I pay my money and they don't pay my claim. So I guess who's right or who's wrong, I don't know. I just we just want to see people get the insurance coverage that they pay for, and ideally we want to see the insurance companies do well and make money and keep writing policies in our state, because it's a big problem. People can't even get insurance. It's also a big problem in Florida is homeowners HOA, like you have your monthly fee, because part of that goes to insurance on the if you live in a condominium. Right. A lot of people are being forced to sell their condos because they can't afford the monthly HOA. Fee. Yeah, correct. So I guess it's a trade-off. You have to, if you want to live here where we have warm weather almost all year long. We don't get any snow, and the trade-off is it's getting expensive.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens in the months ahead with. Maybe we get a little reprieve. We don't get any hurricanes for a few years.
Yeah, at least 1 year. I think we need to not get any for at least another year just to kind of rebuild and get back to normal. I guess a few people are going down to Fort Myers. You said it's just still a mess.
That's from Hurricane Ian 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Fort Myers got destroyed. Fort Myers Beach got devastated.
Yeah, they were bringing that up again. He said, "Jesus, really took a pounding."
I read an article that said, like, in some ways, hurricanes are good for the economy, though, because like the construction industry does great. Then you have all the companies that sell them materials do well, and it's not all negative.
Yeah.
Obviously, the insurance companies hate it because they have to pay out, but some people argue that a hurricane can help an area economically. So I don't know. I'm not an economist, even though I did take economics in college. You ever have to take economics?
Yeah, macro and micro, and that was it. I didn't do too well at either one of them. It's one thing about me. I've never been a financial genius. So I'm in a state I'm in.
It's funny. We went to an auto body association meeting last night, Joe and I, and you I think had gotten into the men's room, and the guy goes, "Any math majors in the room?" And no one raised their hand like you or you.
Yeah. He left. Why? What did he want to know about the math?
I don't know. They were like had some calculation, and the guy goes, "Any math majors in the room?"
Oh no, did he?
And I was thinking, for those who don't know, Joe majored in math at Northeastern University. Shout out to Northeastern University. What's their nickname?
The Huskies.
The Huskies? A lot of schools are nicknamed the Huskies.
Yeah. I just happen to be Husky.
What was their best sport? They were not big in basketball.
Hockey was their best sport. Hockey was definitely their best sport. Yeah, they were, because they've had times where they were nationally ranked and stuff, and they were, they played one of the prestigious tournaments they played in, and it was only 4 of them, but it was the Bean Pot. That was between Harvard, Northeastern,
probably Boston University, and Boston College.
And Boston College, yeah. Boston College probably had the strongest hockey team, I think, because they've been ranked number 1 in the country a few years, at least of recent. I hear more about them because of my old man, because he's an alumni, so he lets me know it. But other than that, I don't think Northeast is too good at anything.
You see, when's the last time you had an Oreo cookie?
Oh, jeez.
I try to stay away from that stuff.
I don't know. I haven't had one in I don't know how long. I mean, it had to be at my mother in Swansea, Mass, and God, that had to be 30 years. I can't remember having an Oreo.
The reason I brought that up is I noticed that they came out with Selena Gomez Oreos.
Oh, did they?
And obviously, for those who have watched the show, I'm a big Selena Gomez fan.
Although I've had ring dings recently. They had 2 for $1 box of ring dings, and I like putting them in the freezer and eating them frozen.
I went to the gym today for the first time in forever. 30 minutes on the bike and 15 minutes of sit-ups.
And no falling off the
No
gym.
falling off anything.
A successful day at the gym.
That was at 5 a.m. I was at the gym.
Oh, God.
So we'll see if I can keep it up and get in a routine. Gotta get in good shape for summer.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that about does it today. People really don't care about my gym activities. Now I'm going to go. I may take a step back from my drinking activity.
Drinking to the gym and back to the gym, back to drinking.
That's it. All right, well, we'll about do it for today. And rest in peace, Sly Stone and Brian Wilson. And we look forward to the NHL playoffs and
NBA playoffs
and the U.S. Open
and
golf.
the U.S. Open golf, yeah.
Have a good week, everyone.
All right. You too, everybody.